Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Coinbase didn't listen to the XRP community, and now what we have warned for the past year and a half has happened. The SEC is coming for Coinbase. Information has leaked that there is an official investigation into the firm. Now, mind you, this is in addition to the fact that just days ago, the SEC filed a lawsuit against 3 individuals, including one former Coinbase executive, in which it made claims of insider trading while asserting that 9 cryptocurrencies traded on the platform are securities. Now, again, in that, Coinbase was not named as a defendant, but there's an official investigation going right now. And I think that most times investigations start, I suspect anyway, I think most of the time, at least in the world of crypto, they do lead to prosecution. Like, they already know what the hell they want to do. There's a reason they open this stuff. They think there's a good chance that it's going to lead to that. Otherwise, they wouldn't waste their time. And so while it's not technically a guarantee, to me, it's all but certain at this point. You're going to see an official SEC lawsuit at some point in the future. This is just procedurally how things go. Just like eventually, it was some years ago, I can't remember exactly when, at some point, I think in 2018, there was an investigation opened into Ripple. And then we found out at the end of 2022 that all that was going on, and then the suit was officially filed. So it's just a matter of time. And I don't know how long the SEC has been investigating Coinbase. I haven't seen that information leak, but the information did leak late last night after I had already put out my content for the day that, SEC, it looks like they're coming for Coinbase. But before going any further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So here's a headline from Cointelegraph, which reads in part, Coinbase faces new SEC wrath. Here's one from CoinDesk. SEC probing Coinbase for allegedly listing securities. Report. And just note, the word probing perfectly interchangeable with investigation. That does mean an official investigation has started. And here's the headline from Bloomberg. Coinbase faces SEC probe on crypto listings. Shares tumble. I'm going to share with you just a small piece of this article. And then I got some stuff also from Fox Business's Charles Gasparino, who is a journalist that's been covering the SEC versus Ripple case for, I guess, probably close to a year. I think he jumped in, I want to say, off the top of my head, September of last year. I also got some stuff from attorney John Deaton. But the piece reads as follows. Coinbase Global Inc. is facing a U.S. probe excuse me, into whether it improperly let Americans trade digital assets that should have been registered as securities, according to 3 people familiar with the matter. Excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of water here. Apologize for that. Came out of nowhere. The company's shares dropped 21%. So here you go. Coinbase, this is why I've been saying for a long time now. It's not that I blame you for delisting XRP. I get it. You're doing what you think is most prudent and in the best interest of your publicly traded business. I understand that. And although I guess I can't remember, maybe the public, the IPO, it may have happened after the whole XRP thing. I actually can't remember exactly when that happened now. But setting that aside, it doesn't really matter that much. The point is you were doing what was in the interest of your company. I got that. But I think it would have suited you better to just take a much more courageous approach like Uphold has done, for example. Because, as I mentioned in a video just the other day, like, this didn't buy you time. The fact that you did this, it didn't buy you time. And I'm not convinced that it even actually is going to legally protect you any more than any other firm. And I get it. It's a reactive approach, and you think it's better than nothing. I get it. And I still blame the SEC for putting you in this position. But man, I'm telling you, it's like what Mark Cuban said of Shark Tank fame. It's like what he said, you got to bring the fight to the SEC. If you acquiesce and act like a little baby back biatch, it doesn't tend to work out so well for you. Anyway, piece continues. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's scrutiny of Coinbase has increased since the platform expanded the number of tokens in which it offers trading, said 2 of the people who asked not to be named because the inquiry hasn't been disclosed publicly. So there you go, just pause and note. This is a leak. We're not supposed to know about this yet. We're supposed to sit back and wait while the SEC concludes its investigation, but we already know the fact that they started this, you know the conclusion they were going to come to. They knew too. They're just getting all their ducks in a row. Anyway, piece continues. The probe by the SEC's enforcement unit predates the agency's investigation into an alleged insider trading scheme that led the regulator last week to sue a former Coinbase manager and 2 other people. We are confident that our rigorous diligence process, a process the SEC has already reviewed, keeps securities off our platform, and we look forward to engaging with the SEC on the matter, Chief Legal Officer Paul Grewal said on Twitter. The SEC declined to comment. Yeah, okay, so yes, that is true. The SEC reviewed what Coinbase had to say in terms of, hey, here's our rigorous process to determine what is and is not a security. That doesn't mean the SEC agreed with it. They probably just sat there primarily citing, like, we are looking at what you have provided us. Thank you. It's going to make it easier for us to sue you now with all this information just placed in our lap. I think it's probably a bit more like that, which I find repulsive. And so, please nobody misunderstand me. I'm not gleeful about this. I'm kind of disappointed the approach Coinbase took. Well, I mean, I'm understanding, but it would have been better had they just been a bit more aggressive about this and not delisted XRP. That's not helping them ultimately. So it's not the case that I'm blaming Coinbase. Rather, I'm actually sympathetic, to be honest with you. I'm rather sympathetic. I want Coinbase to be victorious on this because the lawsuit's coming, right? It's certainly coming. And take a look at this tweet from yesterday afternoon before this news broke. And tell me if this doesn't sound just as easily as something that Ripple could have posted on their official Twitter account. So here it is from the official Coinbase account. Laws from the 1930s couldn't predict crypto. That's why we filed a petition to SEC to issue securities rules that work for crypto securities and unlock a new market for U.S. consumers, developers, and platforms. Doesn't that just as easily sound like something that Ripple could have written, or pretty much anybody from the XRP community? Because look, some cryptocurrencies, like maybe it's desirable to have some sort of centralized cryptocurrency. It's still on distributed ledger technology, and that's the case. Fine, go ahead. Have a path forward for them. I don't even know that there's a path forward for that, frankly. But still, it could not be more obvious that there isn't a path forward, and Coinbase is acknowledging that before this news even broke publicly. It's really something. And so Fox Business's Charles Gasparino tweeted out the following just 5 hours ago. Breaking, Coinbase has disclosed since May SEC enforcement interest in its activities, and now legal experts say the case involving allegedly selling unregistered securities as tokens could be lethal to Coinbase business. The latest investigation comes after Rep. Brad Sherman implored SEC to investigate crypto exchanges that allow selling of unregistered securities. Yeah, so you may recall Brad Sherman, that idiot congressman from California. He publicly stated XRP is a security. It certainly hasn't been declared that. There's a legal battle over that right now. He called for additional action against exchanges, and it was already happening. Now, it makes you wonder if he already knew that, right? Did Gary Gensler or somebody over there at the SEC tell him to say these things? It makes me wonder. We know that he's funded by big banks and all sorts of entities that maybe don't really want crypto to thrive. We do know that. But this could be killer to Coinbase's business. I do not want that. I think that everybody in the XRP community, even if you feel kind of soured on how Coinbase has handled a number of things, and you're totally fair game to critique them, but even so, I don't want Coinbase to fail. I want them to be victorious. We need to everybody in the space needs to push back against the SEC, and we need victories here, folks. Being against Coinbase and wanting Coinbase to lose is just as silly and ridiculous and not well thought out as the idea that Bitcoin maximalists have that XRP is a security and they want the SEC to come crush XRP and XRP holders. It's just as ridiculous. It's just as absurd. And so I tweeted out this afternoon the following. Remember that time every single person in the XRP community warned you that the attack on Ripple and XRP was an attack on all of crypto? Well, Coinbase, I guess you just have even more coins to delist, question mark. Because again, now we know SEC is coming after them. It's an investigation. What do you think the odds are that the investigation is completed and they don't take some sort of action? Because we already know Gary Gensler, he said the odds of an exchange, and I'm paraphrasing here, but the odds of an exchange that trades 50 or 100 tokens not selling at least one security on the platform, not at least one, the odds of that not happening, it's very low. So that was a strong indication that, yeah, of course they're going to come after exchanges, and I hate to see it. And here's what attorney John Deaton had to say on this topic. He wrote, "Tribalism permeating crypto may prove to be its Achilles heel." And this is, by the way, I'll just pause and note, this is just from this afternoon, a little bit earlier today. He said, "The one thing I hate being right about is when the SEC filed versus Ripple, I said it may have chose Ripple to implement a divide and conquer strategy because many people dislike Ripple and think it's just XRP." So let's pause and note. I happened to last night have mentioned just that in a video. I was just postulating. I don't know for sure if it was part of their strategy, but it kind of hit me. I was like, well, why wouldn't it have been the case, perhaps, that the SEC, understanding how hated XRP is by the Bitcoin maxi types out there, why not go after them? You're not going to have the rest of crypto. So fine, you'll have the XRP community not happy, but not the rest of crypto. Maybe that was part of their strategy. Now, if so, it's still a bad move because our community, our XRP community, is gigantic and millions of people hold XRP, literally millions. There's a lot of pissed off people. So if they thought that we were going to be quiet about it, well, their strategy isn't necessarily working out so well for them necessarily. In some ways it is. I'll say, like, because I think that a lot of the organizations out there that should have been, sticking up for XRP and XRP holders, they've been silent. So maybe to some degree in that sense, it's worked out for them. But in terms of getting pushback, no, this is something that they didn't expect, which is why John Deaton now represents over 68,000 XRP holders. It's completely insane. Anyway, attorney Deaton continues with the thoughts now. He says, Coinbase, Kraken, and others delist XRP because they don't want to be in the SEC's crosshairs, even though they are in the crosshairs. But it's only Ripple and XRP, so people ignore that. They're actually arguing the token itself is the security and unlawfully expanding Howey. The SEC and cronies like Brad Sherman then used the delistings of XRP as proof that it was a security. Now fast forward 18 months, and the SEC goes after Coinbase for tokens that are arguably closer to being a security than XRP. Pissed off XRP holders revel in the Coinbase news. Let's pause and note, I'm not reveling in the Coinbase news. Now, I think it's kind of rich what's happening here, but that doesn't mean that I like it, just to be clear. I don't like it. I want Coinbase to win. I could not be more clear about that and more vocal about it. I want them to win. I just wish that they had handled things differently for the past year and a half or so in particular. And then Attorney Deaton says, it's called divide and conquer for a reason, and it is an effective tool of war. Bitcoin maxis like Max Kaiser and Michael Saylor welcome the SEC's overreach because it will drive more of the money into Bitcoin and out of riskier crypto assets that could be classified as a security. The strategy works. See, now that is the truth, and that's why it's so repulsive. Here's a tweet from Library. As I'm sure the vast majority of you are now aware, being sued by the SEC. They've got their LBC token, the Library Credit Token. So Library's official Twitter account wrote the following. It's so pathetic and disgusting to see crypto people that would be nowhere without Satoshi clamoring for regulations that he would have found abhorrent. Isn't that something? These are not principled people. Some of these Bitcoin maxi types out there, they're thrilled about this stuff. These are not principled people. These are ideological people. Everyone but me be damned. It's such an unethical way to approach life, in my humble opinion. I'm pretty disgusted by it. And then there's this quote shared by John Deaton from Gary Gensler, which reads as follows. Many of these underlying tokens have the attributes of securities. Now think about that. That is something that Gary Gensler literally said, verbatim. But here's what else Attorney Deaton had to say. Many assets have attributes of a security. If an asset passes 3 out of 4 Howey factors, it has attributes of a security, but it is not a security. Gensler has his agenda on his side, not the law. And that's a point that, look, it's an excellent point. That's something I've been shouting forever too. It's not the case that if you pass 4 prongs of the Howey test, you just pass 3 of them. It doesn't mean that the asset's a security. You got to pass all 4 of them. And that's why the SEC is such an uphill battle, but they just don't give a damn. They are shameless creatures. I despise these assets. So that's where we're at. So I hope that all of you are as repulsed by this action against Coinbase as I am. We need to be in lockstep as a crypto community. Even if you're not a fan of Coinbase, you shouldn't want them to fail here. I don't think that's going to be good for you listening to this, even if you don't like Coinbase. That's my personal position on this. But I'm going to wrap up here. Let me know what you think on this below. I do love diversity of thought, but I tell you, I do have some pretty strong opinions on this one. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.